First, I want to show you guys something really simple, how easy it is to add a copy button to your workflow. This is a button called Onboard 1. If we double click it, you can see what it contains. All it is a list of fields in our prospects object that we want to copy to an object called new client with the respective field names in that data view. You can give it a name. You can set other aspects of it, whether you're going to change the mode of the target object or not to add or edit, and whether you're going to also write report values as well. And then you make your changes and save them. If you wanted to create one new, you would just go into the copy settings where you can view all your existing buttons for this data view and add new ones instantly. The local label, the remote object you want to write to as a target, and the corresponding field, and or if you want to write the report, which is a whole bunch of records from one data view to another data view, all in one button. And we've showed you in earlier videos how we do linking between objects for automatic viewing of one record in a data view lining up with another one. As you see here, fields change. Now that we have that out of the way, we can begin. This linking, by the way, was corresponded to the prospect files link, which is here. It's a child link between prospects and prospect files. Very easy to set up. Now today we're going to show you how to add copy buttons and extraction of details from a document into your workflow. Hello and welcome back to the TurboSettle video series. Today we're going to show you how to extract data from a document into a data view and then add information from yet another data view using a copy to button. This is an example of a copy button. If you open it, you can see that this button is copying a whole bunch of fields from one data view, this one called prospects, into another data view called new client. The name of the copy button is Onboard 1. So first we'll get our usual list of prospects for this example, and we'll highlight our golden boy example, Arturo, and we're going to click the onboard button, which copies the information from the prospect into the client. Now in this case we're going to use the existing client, so we're just going to highlight continue, so we have the corresponding client ID, and then we're going to click the onboard banking button. But first we're going to extract data. We could do it in either order actually. We could do onboard banking first, which just gives a little bit of information because the client's banking information is not contained in the client data view. Instead it's in an ACH agreement, and we'll show you how that works. So let's go back to clients, and actually either way we can go back to banking and continue to fill in this object from a document. Here we have client bank files, which is just another view into the client files. It's already highlighted with the ACH agreement that he signed already. And so we click extract data to see that document and extract the data, which contains the bank name and the routing number and the account number for the client. Obviously not a real account number for the purposes of this video. So auto extract, if you notice, fills in the data up here. It's turned yellow to show us that there's no data. So we can close this. We now have the data in our client bank account ready to upload. But we don't want to upload it here just yet. For this example, we want to use the copy button again to bring it into another banking account, which is the data view directly for the bank. This is the data view for our own CRM, and this is the data view directly for the bank. So before we populate that, notice how the bank name is Chase. We want to verify that that is in fact the actual bank name. So what we could do is we could look for routing numbers that are equal to, or we could just get all the banks we have. Maybe that's the easiest thing here. And then in our bank list, we could look for any routing number that equals 021, which we might not have because the routing number might just begin with a 2. But here it does show it. And so JP Morgan Chase is the correct name for the bank. So we've confirmed it. So we just highlight it. We highlight the correct bank with the correct city, New York, that the customer put in his document. And then we click Copy as Client Bank, and target should be already in the correct mode. So this was supposed to just add the bank information here, as it usually does. Target should be in edit because the target was in the correct mode, but let's just see why by trying again. Now we've lost the client data, so we want to go back to this and then do the extract, and let's see why it erased. This is probably due to some new changes, but copy client bank, all that's supposed to do, if we look at this, is just copy the bank information without overwriting anything else. We are in an add mode, so it should have worked. Let's see if it does. At least one target field is non-empty. Overwrite all target field input values. So in theory, it should just overwrite the bank data, not the account name or account number. And this time it did in fact work. JP Morgan Chase Bank is the correct name for the bank. Now when we click Onboard RAM Banking, it filled in all the correct details, including the account type. So now when we click Upload, this account type for the bank, for the RAM, which is Reliant Payments, notice how the C for checking corresponds to consumer debit checking. Now we're ready to upload this to the bank. Thank you for watching. Just an extra point here. If we wanted to, if we had a workflow so that we were uploading the bank data directly to our own CRM first, which is the workflow that this company will probably end up using, we just upload it here first. And then we reload the data, and here it is, but onboard again from here would populate the data now from here into here, and we're in the same place now for uploading directly to the bank itself, the bank data. But should we decide to change banks in the future, we already have this information here. So bank name JP Morgan Chase. In the future, one can see if the bank information is already added, because just by highlighting the correct client, you could see we don't need to add this client again because he's already here. It's an extra safety mechanism, and your workflows is very flexible, can be whatever you want it to be. The system allows for endless types of workflow. Incidentally, the reason it wasn't showing routing number is because the field name was changed, and so it was incorrectly noted in the reporter. So what we do to show it and show it by default is we just highlight the reporter object, which is this. It's a subset of the data view. We've got the account name. We add the bank name. Bank name should probably be first, so we'll insert it, get then the account name, and then the routing number can be added, and then we want to default open, and then just save this. There's a whole bunch of formula information here if you wanted to add a formula to the report. So now the report is saved, and you can see clearly the routing number, account name, and bank name as a default setup. Once again, we're ready to upload the same data we now have in our CRM to the bank. By the way, in case you missed it last time, if we want to create a document and add templates to the document, it's very easy to do. Here the signature is masked because it's not needed for extraction purposes, but you can see that this document was signed through TurboSettle and a hash fingerprint was assigned to it, and there's also all the hash provenance. Every time someone signs, the signature can be matched with their last signing event. If there are multi-signatures, then this hash provenance continues on in a chain and includes IP addresses, date of signature, the actual signature of the entire doc, less this page, and the initial watermark, which is the entire doc less this page, and less fields. So in other words, without any of these additional field templates, it shows what the original document is supposed to look like. So it can be checked against various hacking attempts to prove validity. This document, we're in the extract mode, but if we actually wanted to view the doc itself as a templated doc, we can get all of our contracts templates or document templates, and we could look at this exact one either by clicking fill contract to fill it again with actual data for any given client, as you see here, and then send it to them. We can save it and then send it to them for signing, and then when they sign it, they sign here, right? And there's a date on the signature field and the hash code, which immediately becomes part of the hash provenance that you saw earlier. So that was the fill mode, and that's the workflow, sending it to the client, filling it with the client on the phone as much as possible, letting them fill in the rest. But then, if we were actually creating the document for the first time, we would go into edit mode, we would edit the templates and then actually upload the document in add mode. But first we would add templates that points, each field can point to an actual data object, a field in a data object. Like for example, here, this name corresponds to first name, last name. We double clicked it to see it. We can drag and drop it again to merge into it if we wanted to, or add a new field. Notice how the contract selected, the status is either new or merging. You can see that. And we're not going to do that. But there are very powerful objects as well, which I'm going to show you here. Here is very, very powerful template types. So if we go into the enrollment agreement example and we go into edit templates, well, actually, let's go back into fill just to show you. Continue, we'll go into fill. Assuming we want to show you a specific template called a particular template type we want to show you, which is here. This is an amazing template type that nobody has. If we fill it, look how everything fills. It's called a report template, and it corresponds to an entire report. Multiple fields in a data view can be added automatically. Included, removed, you can change them and then extract data and they'll show as extracted. You can manipulate where the fields appear on the page by right-clicking the column, then just the column moves. If we are actually indeed in a, we're in a fill mode, so that's why it's not moving. We got to go into the edit template mode, which would be edit template. And this is where the type called text set, and this is specifically what I want to show you guys, because this is you won't see this anywhere else in the world until after this video, meaning we were the first to produce this kind of object to the best of our knowledge. Anyway, right-clicking a column, just that column moves. And similarly, adjusting its height, you can adjust for everything or just that column, not for height but for width. For height, only the entire object can be adjusted for obvious reasons, to keep everything aligned. You can also change certain characteristics like row spacing or column spacing. First, you would double click, and then all of the information, including all of the data pointers for each field, is here. Currently up to 6 data pointers, where each pointer corresponds to a column for a report. Then you can drag and drop any changes you might have made to merge, as you see here. We're not going to do that. That would change the spacing and other characteristics, but if we did, it would do it. And then click Finished, and then upload your changes. Thank you for watching. I really wanted to show the world this incredibly powerful text set object.